that look on her face. He's mine. He's mine. She's just bubbling over there in her chair. How sweet. Oh, man. So life gets full sometimes, and I've been thinking a lot lately about the minutia of life, the tiny details, the things that have to happen, the kind of the grunt work of life every single day. The laundry, getting the mail, paying the bills, all the little things that just have to be done that always seem to be calling us. Things to do. And I have to remember one of the things, some of my work is making myself take care of myself and taking time off and putting all those tiny things, those thousands of things that need to be done, compartmentalize them somewhere else so my brain can relax and just be. And yet we have to attend to those little things, don't we? Because if we don't and we ignore them, then they pile up. And then we feel the weight of those things, even though sometimes they're not quantifiable. But the stuff just keeps piling up. And so what do you do with it? A lot of times I have a tendency to let it drag me down. And I forget why I'm doing what I'm doing and what really matters. I don't know where I first heard this. It may have been something on YouTube or in a movie, but there was a toddler talking to his father. And he would ask a question, and the father would answer it, and then he'd say, "But why?" And then the father would answer, and then he'd say, "But why?" And then another answer would come, "And why? And why? And why? Daddy, why is the sky blue?" And Daddy would make something up. "But why?" And the question would just come, "But why? But why? But why?" And of course, my anxiety's going up as I'm thinking, oh my gosh, just because it is. That's why I'm no one's mother. That's why I'm not a mother. But we do have these questions about why. Why do I? Why do I? Why do I? Especially when things feel like they're mounting up, don't we? Why do I have to do this again? Or we feel like, why am I the only one doing it? Why am I the only one? We always feel like it's on our shoulders. Why? And so the little stuff starts to get overwhelming. And then our world starts to shift. We're angry, we're resentful, we're tired, we're dragging ourselves through. We start to complain, we start to whine. I start to have pity parties. Why me? Why my life? We just go over and over again. And then at some point, because I'm highly aware of what I say and what I'm doing, and especially when I'm not feeling peaceful, then I start thinking, okay, this is getting a little pathetic. And I need to do something about what I'm feeling, about this stuff, about the stuff. I think one of the 12 powers that I think the least about, but probably should think more about, is zeal. The power of zeal. Enthusiasm. So from one of our cards that is out in the rack by the front door, zeal is the power to be enthusiastic and passionate, the ability to inspire, to breathe life into something. And the affirmation that we have attached to it is, I am an inexhaustible supply of passion and readiness. I'm enthusiastic, audacious, and devoted. Zeal, enthusiasm, and passion does not mean we have to be perky. It's not the same thing. I have a thing about perkiness anyway, because at some point you're just like, calm down. Oh my gosh. Like, what is that? And I think it's a New Jersey thing. I was born and raised in New Jersey. I think it's a New Jersey thing because we don't do perky in the Northeast. We don't. I don't know what part of the country they do it, but not in New Jersey. That's not what we do, perky. But it's merely breathing life into something and figuring out why am I doing what I'm doing? Especially the little stuff. Because we can get passion around the big things. Our job, if you're a caregiver, your art, whatever your work is, your calling in life, it's easy to get passionate about that. But the other 50, sometimes 75%, 80% some days is the little stuff that we have to take care of. And how do you breathe life into that? And maybe it is the question of why. Why? Why do I want to pay my bills? Not everybody does. Not everybody cares about it. And it's something that is just necessary in life that has to get done. And it's not just that I owe the bills. That's not why I'm paying them, just because of that. Of course I do. I signed up for something. I have an electric bill because I went in and I opened an account because I want electricity in my house. And really the why is because I want to be comfortable in my home. I want to be comfortable. When it's blazing hot out, I want to sit in the coolness. And so I'm willing to write that check. When I flip the switch, I want the light to come on. I want to be able to read when I want to read. Why do I want to work out? A lot of mornings I have to think of that again before I actually get to work out. Sometimes most of my work of working out is deciding to work out. It's not the workout. And there are days when I've spent a half an hour trying to get to my why about the working out and making myself get to the workout. But I ask, why do I want to do that? And so I have to think of that, literally, before I step on the treadmill or lift weights or whatever it is I'm going to do. And sure, a lot of it is because, I want to wear my clothes and I want to be able to be free in that and not have to worry about it. But a lot of it is, as I'm getting older, I want to continue to be physically independent. That's important to me. That's important to me. I watch what happened to my father's dignity and his quality of life when he could no longer get himself out of a chair by himself. You think it's no small thing when you can't get up on your own? It's huge. My mother, who always denied getting older and didn't like the fact that she had a geriatric doctor. She never liked the word. She would always refer to other people as geriatrics. That's what she called them, the geriatrics. Even she died in her mid-80s. But we were talking, and I purchased one of those, it's pedals, you just put them down on the floor, it's not a bicycle, in order for her to use in her chair so she could just sit and she could watch TV and she could be just pedaling along. And for a while she used it and then she stopped using it, and I kept saying, Mom, it's important, because you want to be able to have strong legs so you can stand up and move on your own. But it's just me, it's just my daughter. She's like, so what, So it's kind of like the Charlie Brown thing. Whenever I talked about it, I was like, wah, 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 She didn't hear me. So she changed doctors, and we went in, and the first thing the doctor said is, I want you to sit in that chair and get up and come to me. And my mom had to push up with her arms to come to the doctor. She said, nope, I want you to get up, but don't push up with your arms. And my mother looked at me, and she made a face at me. I think she stuck her tongue out at me. And the doctor said, what was that? What was that exchange? And I said, well, I've been talking to my mother about that exact thing, but she didn't want to listen to me. But really, I want to be physically independent, so that's why I work out. And there are days when I don't want to do it, And now I know that now that I'm in a cycle of always working out, and I have been for a long time, my body doesn't like it when I don't work out. When I don't work out, when I don't stretch, everything starts to hurt. And because now I'm older than when I started working out first, it starts to hurt a whole lot faster than it used to. Like day 2 or 3, my back is hurting, telling me you need to go stretch. You need to go stretch. And so now that's my signal. Sitting on my butt too long. Let me go do this. What is my why? And so that helps me put enthusiasm into what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing this thing. It's another thing on my list of things to do. And there's some days I think I don't have time because I got other things to get to first. Well, I do know if I don't take care of the body, the other stuff's probably not going to get done, or sure not as efficiently or as pleasantly as I would like it to happen. I don't want the normal things of life to be painful for me, physically painful. Like doing a bit of gardening and realizing then I have to sit in a hot tub of Epsom salts for an hour afterwards. So if I prepare and I do the work I need to do before I go to do any gardening, then I handle the gardening better. That's my why. So I don't complain. Well, not all the time. I don't complain because I know why I'm doing that. So I breathe life into that activity. Why am I taking time to make phone calls, to talk to people, to check on my family members? Because I love them, and that's the part of nurturing a relationship. That's why we take time for those things. The why of the little stuff matters. It matters. And then it makes, I think, the big things easier to deal with. You can find a whole lot more energy. You have a lot more energy for the big things in life when we take care of the little things in life. The things that can weigh us down that we forget about. Why do I make my bed in the morning? Because I love order. That's my personality. I'm a Virgo. We love order. Order makes me happy, makes me smile. I love walking through the bedroom and seeing the bed made. I just love that. And so I do that first thing in the morning, and it makes me smile. And it makes me smile. But it is another thing to do. It's another thing to do for the same reason why I clean up or wash the dishes. Or I do them at night, because sometimes I just want to get in the bed, but the kitchen's a mess. But I know I sure don't want to get up in the morning and see that mess first thing. The why of it. I breathe life into that. And then I can do that and not be grumpy, not be resentful, not be in chaos and stress while I'm doing it. With all the loss there's been in the last few months, time is precious. And so it's important, I think, for us to figure out why we do the things we do. And then breathe life into them. Breathe life into everything. Zeal. It's that inexhaustible enthusiasm for whatever's happening. That this is my thing now. I'm going to do it and bring my best to it. And we often think in our humanness, in our human capacity, that we don't have enough to bring to the situation. And yet we do. And so sometimes we even have to go to our divinity, dig into our divinity, even for the little stuff. These powers that we have enable us to live and live well, more peacefully, more joyfully. And then perhaps I can enjoy cleaning the kitchen. Sing a song while I'm cleaning the kitchen. Feel how the hot water feels on my hands. Maybe I smell the soap that I'm using. I ran out of a soap that I do love using, and I bought something else, and it doesn't smell nearly as good. And I'm not one to waste things, so I didn't just pitch it or get rid of it, but I use it. But now that my good stuff is back, I love when the hot water hits it. So if I can have a moment of joy while I'm cleaning the kitchen, I'm going to take my moment of joy. And sometimes it takes a small thing to flip the switch on something from drudgery to a small task that you're just going to get through and enjoy while you're in it. It makes life easier. And why not make every single second count? Even when you're running errands, even when you're weeding, even when you're cooking, even when you're cleaning up. Why not? And to find the energy to go with it. Lately, it's been talking myself into going to bed at a decent time. Because I want to feel good the next day. I want to have that energy for the day. I want to sleep well. But that means I have to attend to some things early on in the evening before I can go to bed. It seems like a small thing, but if I do it enough days, if I'm pushing the envelope and I'm getting in bed at 11 o'clock, which is so not me, because I'm an early riser no matter what time I go to bed, my eyes are opening at 5 a.m. And as you hear, Jerry's not one of them. As my husband would say, you can call, but I ain't answering. Where's my water? So I have to go to bed early, and some days I don't want to do that. I have to breathe life into that. I have to tell myself the why of going to bed early so I can wake up early and enjoy my day, so I can be creative and focused first thing in the morning, because that's my time. If I miss my 5 a.m. to 12 noon, it's a whole lot more work for me to be creative and productive in the afternoon. And it takes me 5 times as long to get the good stuff done. So if I don't hit the ground running when my eyeballs open first thing in the morning, then I really suffer through the day. That's my why. That's my why, and it's important. And then I can bring my enthusiasm. But when I need some help, I go back to that power of zeal to breathe life. And I know, even though my body may not feel like it, I get to change my thoughts about who and what I am, that yes, I have an inexhaustible supply of energy for whatever is before me, even if it's just getting up, doing what I need to do, exercise, meditate, do all these things, get them done, because I want to also be productive and move forward in life in a healthy, happy way. The divine power of zeal gives us that. We have a natural affinity for that. We have that inexhaustible supply that is God moving through us. And you get to call on that when you don't feel like doing it. Just as the beautiful woman in the video said. You know all those things she said in the beginning about what we thought I thought none of those things when I saw her. I thought none of those things. And yet, how many of us look at ourselves that way? And I know that was a script she had for that video. But how real was that? That we assume that that's what people are thinking of us. And yet all of that judgment is coming from right here within us. And it's our work then to remember what we are, which is divine expressions. And as a divine expression, I have an inexhaustible supply for anything I channel that energy to. So when the human Kim, in all of her personality, is in bed having a tantrum because it's now 5 o'clock and my alarm just went off and I don't feel like getting up, I don't feel like working out, I get to say I am a unique divine expression. I have an inexhaustible supply of energy for everything today. And then I get to flip that switch and go from resentful tantrum to excitement about everything that's before me. Things I choose to do for my life. Like Pete read to us. All you have to do is change your thoughts. If you don't like what you see in your life, you get to change that by reframing your thoughts.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And changing your words and speaking it out loud. Sometimes you have to say it out loud. And there are days in the morning when I've opened my eyes and I say, "Get up, Kim." Lately, my mantra has been, "Buck up, Buttercup." I don't know where I ever got that from. Buck up, Buttercup. Why are you laying in bed whining about the day? Buck up, Buttercup. That's the power of zeal. You have this. That's my notes to myself that I have what it takes to do this. So get over it. Stop whining. Stop complaining. Buck up, Buttercup. Go do what you're called to do, which in that moment may be to just get my clothes on and go work out. Go get it done. Go get it done. We spend so much time laying around in our patheticness when we are so not that. We are so not that. And in the midst of whining and complaining and having the pity party and being resentful about what's happening or should be happening or something we say that we want to do, we could be in the mix doing it and checking it off. Also, as a Virgo, that's the other thing that turns me on. Being to have something on the list and checking that thing off. I love checking the stuff off.
And just believing in yourself and knowing
Yes.
you can do it.
Yes. I kick butt once again.
Oh my gosh.
That's the power of zeal.
Yes.
And so that by 7 o'clock in the morning when I'm at my desk and I'm ready to attend to what I call the God work, which is either preparing or doing work for here or working on my peace initiative, whatever it is, then I'm already in it. I've already been accomplishing and knocking stuff out. I'm already feeling like the beast. I got this. I got this. The Buttercup is moving. We have energy for everything if you want it.
Yes. Yes and yes.
So at every morning, every moment you are at choice. And yes, every morning you are at choice. You can lay around resentful, angry. My word for me is usually I go pathetic, whatever you call it. You can have the tantrum. You can do that. And as I always tell you, no matter what you choose, you are still love, you are still divine. Even in those moments when you don't feel like it, and you're getting to get it done. You are still love, you are still divine. And you can be in that if you choose that. But the feeling, the experience of God, of your divinity, is in when you buck up, Buttercup. That's when you feel the God energy in and through you. And I imagine it's possible to feel it in the patheticness. Yes, you can. But man, it is a different experience when you're out doing the thing and doing it well, no matter what the thing is. Washing dishes, washing the car, running the errands, buying the groceries, making the list, folding the laundry. Whatever it is can be beautiful and sacred if you'll put that energy into it and realize that everything is God work. Not just your calling, not just your mission in life. Everything, every breath, everything is God work because we are divine. Zeal and enthusiasm. Find your flavor of that. Everybody has their own flavor of enthusiasm. Yes, there are some people that are perky, naturally perky. Katie Kate was perky. But that was her natural energy. And so whenever I was in her energy, I didn't have any eye rolling to do. Where I think, oh my God, if I could just get away. She was the kind of person that you felt her energy. And it was a wonderful thing. What was funny, one of the things we learned about when we were at her service was that, she was into the cats. She loved cats. She was so enthusiastic and so irresistible in her enthusiasm. She had people who hated cats and were allergic to them helping her with her cats. And they are now continuing her work. One gentleman is going to get allergy treatments so he can continue her work. He loves her so much. That's how infectious she is, her energy is. How powerful is that? How powerful is that? All of us have our own flavor of zeal. Find your flavor and be zealous in your work, in your God work, in every single moment of every single day. Life is precious, folks. We don't know when we're drawing our last breath. Make it all count. Let's take this in a meditation. So breathe in. What is it in your life that you need to breathe some life into? What is it? What are you tired of? What's the one or two things in your life that you keep saying, I hate doing this? Or the things you keep pushing forward, procrastinating about, leaving to the last minute. What are those things in your life that you'd rather do anything else but that? About what are you having your tantrums? What do you have a tendency to whine or complain about? We all have something. Or maybe there's a who in your life, someone who you think drains your energy. And how can you harness your power of zeal with that person? For all the work is our work, not their work. How can you reframe your relationship? How can you reframe how you show up in that relationship? How can you breathe life into those things that you say drag you down? Let your God power of imagination loose on that circumstance or on that relationship. And if you can't imagine what that answer is, ask. Just put it out there. The divine intelligence that is me is clear now about how to bring life into this situation. And let the inspiration flow in and through you. How can you bring your power and passion to every moment of every day? For life is precious, every moment to be treasured. And there can be a blessedness to everything we have to put our attention to. If we show up in our blessedness. The all good is infinite. Infinite power. Infinite wisdom. Infinite strength and passion and breath. Which means you are too. You are infinitely ready. There is infinite joy within you, infinite power and strength, infinite wisdom within you that is you, ready for whatever comes down your path. Whether you have judged it small or large, it is all God work. God is in the washing of the dishes. caring for the sick. God is in the paying of the bills. And in the holding of the hands of the one who is dying. God is in the raking of the leaves. God is in the weeding of the garden. And God is in the composing of the music that soothes our souls. God is in the cleaning of the bathroom and the hugging of our loved ones. God is in all things. And God is in and through us as inexhaustible energy and enthusiasm and passion for whatever the moment is. And so you have the power to breathe life into all of it. Life and meaning and blessedness into every moment of every day. Let's take a deep breath. Breathing in life into our bodies and breathing life into all that we have before us in this moment, in every successive moment. You have the power, the strength. You are ready, now and always. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.